Hey, what's up, guys? I thought I'd make a detailed video on the programming for my recovery and what I'm doing to maintain and maybe even improve my lifts while I can't actually do the lifts. So this is what I did after my first shoulder surgery. Worked out pretty well. I came back a month after I was cleared to start deadlifting and squatting again. Added 5 pounds to my all-time deadlift PR. When I actually decided to test my squat, hit the same squat PR I had before. Less than a week later, added 5 pounds to it, came back 5 more pounds, ended up adding 25 pounds to my all-time squat PR within like a month and a half of getting cleared to return to the squat, bench, deadlift, all that good stuff. So the first week after my surgery, I took the entire week off. That's one of the most important times for healing. So you want to allow all your calories to go to your healing, sleep go to your healing. You want to rest and give the most productive environment for your body to heal. It's the most important time when it comes to the healing process. The second week, I started implementing some isolation movements, mainly just leg extensions and hamstring curls. I like to go off a lot of the Renaissance periodization principles along with some of the juggernaut. It's a mix of the two, really, like a block periodization style, Renaissance periodization influenced type program. So the first week I was back, I started with 3 sets of each movement to like 3 RIR. Nothing insane, just enough to get some blood flow, a little bit of volume, prevent any kind of atrophy from occurring, get my body used to training again, all that good stuff. The second week, which is this week, I started implementing some leg press. Any kind of compound movement you can do that doesn't affect the injured extremity will work. I just have access to a leg press, works fine for me. Also start with 3 sets on that, about 3-4 RIR, nothing insane. Get your body used to compound movements, a much higher stress, all that good stuff. Personally, when it comes to the isolation movements, I like 12 to 15 rep range. And I'll go over why here in a minute. And with the compound movements, 8 to 10 rep range, give or take. The reason I use those rep ranges, even though I'm a power lifter and I train for strength, most power lifters definitely underappreciate hypertrophy blocks of training. That is one of the best things you can do to improve your lift. It doesn't matter if it's an off season, while you're cutting, maybe to drop a weight class, get back to where you can easily cut to make weight. Hypertrophy blocks are the most underutilized tool in powerlifting, in my opinion. The more muscle you build later on down the road, the more your body has to work with when increasing your CNS adaptation to fire those muscle fibers. And the more muscle you can use, the more weight you can move. So I think it's extremely important to have a hypertrophy block at least once every, I'd say 4 weeks, honestly, unless you're peaking. The 3 times I prefer to use a hypertrophy block is when A, I'm in an off season, B, I'm trying to cut, and the third time is during a super compensatory phase of a peak. So you want to increase the amount of volume to the point where you can't really recover from it intelligently. That way you can super compensate and slingshot past where you would normally be. From here, the way I progress with this is every week I mainly try to focus on increasing weight, but I'm not too worried about that. If I can't increase weight, as long as I'm increasing reps, I'm fine with that. And I'll also decrease the RIR. So like this week I was doing 3 to 4 RIR. As long as I can get to 2 to 3 RIR next week, and I'm at least staying with the same weight, and if I'm at least increasing either the weight or the amount of reps on each set, I'm fine with that. When it gets to the point where I can't do either, but the RIR is staying the same, or I'm actually lowering the RIR, like I can only do 1 to 0 RIR and I'm at the same weight or reps, then I do one more week where I add a set. So the reason for that is your body's, everyone's max recoverable volume is different, and it also changes. There's really no way to know what it is until you get to it. So when I get to that point, I push it a little bit more, then I do a bit of a deload just to recover, get back to baseline really. From there, I keep the amount of sets I increase the same, but reduce the reps in reserve and the weight a little bit. That way it gives my body some time to adapt to that amount of volume. That way I'm increasing the amount of volume over time, my work capacity, all that good stuff. This will at least keep me from losing muscle while I'm recovering. Maybe not all the muscle that I need to be able to squat or deadlift max as well as I could, but it's enough to prevent me from losing too much strength when I get back to it. I mean, yes, as soon as I get back to it, I'm going to be weaker because I haven't done the movement, but that will come back extremely quick, and muscle memory is real. So I think a hypertrophy block is extremely important, especially in a recovery phase after an injury. Farther on down the line, when I get to the point where I can use, like, I'm cleared to use like active range of motion with my injured arm or something, I want to try to find somewhere with a safety squat bar. My physical therapist is really cool. He's into lifting more on the bodybuilding side, but he understands powerlifting. He understands that my goal is to get back to powerlifting, not just daily activities, you know what I'm saying? So he understands I'm going to push it a little bit. He's okay with that as long as I do it intelligently. He said it would probably be okay if I use a safety squat bar now, but just to be on the safe side, wait until I think it's like 2 more weeks. I'll be cleared to use active range of motion movements with my injured arm. He said to wait until then, so hopefully I can find one before then. If not, maybe a hack squat, something of that nature. If I can't, no big deal. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and then when I get back to where I can actually squat, I'm going to do the exact same stuff I'm doing now. However, I'm also going to incorporate light squats just to get back to the movement pattern. I'm going to slowly increase the amount of weight just like you would as a novice lifter. I'm not going to do it extremely quickly or anything like that. Once I get to about 80% of what I was using before, I'm going to slowly start decreasing the amount of isolation movements, leg press, all that good stuff, and start working more towards a hypertrophy phase with the actual movements. And after I'm about back to where I was before my injury, then I'll start resuming training as usual. There's another important part of your recovery that thankfully my physical therapist actually knew what I was talking about when I brought it up, but there's a lot of literature showing that if you work your good side, so for me it's my left side, unilaterally, it actually decreases the amount of atrophy on your injured side. It's not an insane amount. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was like a 10% decrease in the amount of atrophy, but I'll take that 10%, 5% decrease in atrophy any day. That's just less work that I have to do when I get back. It's less loss of strength, loss of muscle mass, all that good stuff. So I've still been doing isolation movements with my left side, just to maintain on this side, and also what little decrease in atrophy I get for this side, I'm going to keep. That's about it, like, for where I'm at right now in terms of training. If anything changes, I'll make an update video. Might go over some other stuff in the future. That's about it for now. I would like to end off on one important note. It's more of a mental thing, but Johnny Candido made a good point in one of his videos forever ago, after he injured his back. Don't think of a lift after you get injured as where you were before. Think of it as a post-injury PR. So any kind of increase you get after you're injured, that's a PR for you. That will help tremendously with the mental aspect of training. It will keep things fresh. It will give you hope, all that good stuff. So that's it for right now, guys. If you got any questions for me, post it in the comments below. Leave a like. all that good stuff. I'll see you later.